Yo, welcome to a very special episode of the Larry Ohh Show. This is a Namm episode. Just a few days ago, I went to Namm in Anaheim, California. If you're not familiar with Namm, it's probably the biggest music convention in the world. It has every piece of gear. Everybody in the industry is there. Producers, mix engineers, gear companies, you name it, it's there. It's massive. It's a 4-day event. I went for the 2 main days, pretty much Friday and Saturday, and I figured why not let's do a Namm episode of the show. So I interviewed 2 really dope FL goats. They go by the name of iiinfinite and Infinite. If you're not familiar, stick around to the end. Stories are awesome. FL goats for sure. Just like every other week, we're doing an FL Studio giveaway. Every week, somebody's going to win a copy of FL Studio Producer Edition. The way to enter it is in the comments. You have to comment the keyword. Somewhere in this podcast, I'm going to pop back in and I'm going to say a keyword. You take that keyword, comment it in the comment section down below here on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube and you're listening somewhere else, head over to YouTube, comment that keyword, and get yourself entered into the giveaway to win a copy of FL Studio Producer Edition. Also, I did my best, but you'll see that the audio is a little noisy because, like I said, we are at the biggest music convention in the world, and we were at the FL Studio booth pretty much the entire time, and it was in the middle of all the chaos, so you might hear some music in the background, but my apologies again. I tried to clean it up. This is a side note, but I tried the noise reduction in Edison. Didn't really work that well. I tried the stem separator in the FL playlist, and little hidden gem right there. Not really for, you know, what it's used for, but it definitely got rid of a ton of noise, so it would have been a lot worse if I didn't use that stem separator. With that being said, let's hop right into the podcast. I hope you enjoy. Thank you for watching and listening. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this with a friend if you get me. We're at Namm. I have a very, very special guest, another FL user. My bro, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hey, what's up? My name's Infinite. I'm really excited to be here. Trying not to nerd out, but I'm geeking out right now, man. I'm just excited to be here, man. Just like the vibes are correct. It's like everybody passionate about the same thing. And
yep. It's like producer
cool.
heaven.
Yeah. It's the Mecca. You know what I mean?
For real.
Yeah.
So you're from this area, right? You're from, well,
up north.
Like roughly from this area, from Cali.
Dude, the thing is that Cali is so big that it's kind of like 2 states.
Yep.
Like Northern Cali and Southern Cali is like completely different.
Bro, I'm from the Northeast, where if I travel an hour and a half, or like you said, you traveled like 6 hours.
Yeah, I'm like in the Bay Area, kind of like Valley area right now.
Bro, if I
traveled like 6 hours.
If I traveled 6 hours, I'd end up in like North Carolina almost. You know what I mean?
You know what's funny too? Is that like I'm not even at the very top of California. Like I'm technically like Bay Area and the Valley is like 30% down.
Yeah.
And then we drove down here, which is like 80% higher than the actual like lowest point of California. So it's like 6 hours is like you can almost chalk it up to like 10.
Yeah, bro, it's wild. Cali's so big.
Yes,
but I guess, you know, we're at Namm.
Yes.
What's like been your favorite thing at Namm so far?
It's gonna sound so like cocky, but it's like getting recognized.
Yo,
it's like really cool because like I think that we sit in our rooms every day, we like make these videos and like we get views and we just look at it as numbers sometimes, and we kind of forget that those numbers are actual people.
Yep.
Like, cause you'll sit there and be like, oh, I got like 1,000 views on this video, or I got 1,000 likes on this video. I'm looking right now, if there was 1,000 people in front of me, that'd be insane. So like when people come up to me and like they say like, hey, I love the videos, I love this, I watch this, I use this from you, it just puts everything to perspective, and it just gets like it gets the motivation going up.
It does.
Like a lot.
It really does.
Lot.
And it feels good to like really connect with the people that, you know, are in the comments. Because like you said, it's like you're in this like virtual world of like, you know, the content, and you think of them as real people, but like you don't know, like you're actually like helping people. Like what we're doing is helping people, and when you see people in person and they give you that feedback, it just, I don't know, like you said, it gives you the motivation to like keep going, keep doing it even more.
It's really easy to disconnect.
Yeah.
When you're doing everything online and digitally.
Yeah, it really is.
And like if you ask like 90% of like content creators, like they would say like, oh, I just be making videos. Yeah. Like they don't think that like I'm changing people's lives. I'm helping people get their first sales. I'm helping people get their first placements. I'm helping people like better their lives. But it's like we kind of are doing that. You know what I mean? It feels kind of weird to say a little bit, but it's the reality of what everything is.
Yep. I guess we can get into like the FL journey. Like what made you start on FL? When did you start on FL? How long have you been using FL?
I've been using FL for like 5-6 years now, and I got it really because I don't even know why I got it, to be honest. So
were you making beats before FL?
No.
Nothing.
No, FL was like the first one.
Gotcha.
So I watched the episode of Rhythm Roulette by Mass Appeal.
Okay.
And there's a guy called Eric Arc Elliott. He's a part of the Flatbush Zombies.
Yep, I know him.
He did an episode of Rhythm Roulette. You familiar with the show? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Actually, I'm gonna say it just because like there's people watching and stuff like that. They might not know. Rhythm Roulette, just quick synopsis of it. It's basically they blindfold a producer, put him into a record store, and then they have to pick 3 records at random and then sample those records into a beat. That's the whole premise of Rhythm Roulette. And I saw that for the first time, and then I immediately had like the concept of producing. Like I never even thought about producing before. Like I guess like the beat just magically appeared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I never thought about it. So when I saw the video, it kind of just opened up everything to me. So I ended up getting FL Studio. I got a laptop and I got like a little MPK MIDI with my my FAFSA college money at the time, and then just went crazy with it.
Right. And what version of FL did you start on? We talked about this yesterday, but for the pod,
Yeah.
what version was it?
I want to say like it was 10.
10?
It was 10.
10.
For sure 10.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
So
it
did
was
you-
like 2016, 2017.
Got you. And I think, did we talk about this yesterday? Do you have the legacy blocks in that version? The old school legacy blocks?
I'm bad with like terminology.
So you know how like in the playlist, you can, when you put a clip in the playlist, a MIDI clip, right? Or just, drums or a MIDI from the piano roll or anything, you can actually like see some of the MIDI notes in there. And you can, like just the way it looks right now. But back in my day,
back in my day. What you know about these legacy blocks?
we had no visual. We just had like, it looked like straight Lego blocks.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There was no visual whatsoever. It was just gray blocks that would snap into the playlist as they do now.
No, it wasn't like that in 10.
And when they made this transition to the new way that we know about it now, I think it might have been 10, but they had it off by default. But you could turn it back on if you wanted it, because like me, I was like so used to that. I was so used to having those legacy blocks that I would turn it back on. And then the playlist would be split into 2. So you would have this like, you know how essentially like in the piano roll, how you have the velocity tabs down at the bottom and it's like you can kind of like, you can zoom in on that, like you can pull it up.
Yeah.
It was almost the same thing essentially, where you could pull up the legacy block area of that playlist, and you could go the legacy block way, or you could do a combination of the 2.
Is that still available now?
No, they got rid of it. It was like a phase out thing.
Do you think that they should bring it back?
No.
No?
I'm so used to the way it is now that I think it's like obsolete. It's like one of those things that's obsolete. I don't think anybody's asking really to bring that back. But it was like a transitional thing. Like when they were getting rid of it, I was like, damn, like I'm just so used to that way of looking at everything that I miss it right now, and I don't feel comfortable without it. But I feel like they did something that was really cool in like a phase out, where it was once you updated, it was off by default, and you could bring it back. Like you could go back into the settings, you could turn it back on if you wanted it.
Yeah.
So if anybody just, but then it was phased out. I think in maybe 10, 11, or 12, one of those, it was completely taken out.
Okay. You know what? I feel like a lot of people have very similar experiences, like how you felt with the change and updates. But like updates are so essential to like companies growing and everything like that. But it's so funny because everybody kind of has like a quick moment when an update happens, and they're like, I don't like this. I want it to be like how I used to have it.
Yeah.
But then like 3 months later, it's like I would never want to go back.
That's because we're just like, we're creatures of habit.
That is true.
We like what we like. We're comfortable. We get into a comfort zone.
Yeah.
Whether it's FL features or a sample pack that we're comfortable with going to. I'm sure you know that. Like you have a certain sample pack or a kit that it's your go-to. You want a certain kick and a snare, you just go to that same
I
pack.
have used the Spins 808 in my past 10 beats.
Bro,
I have not changed it.
Why? Because it instantly sounds right.
Yeah.
No matter what you do.
It just gets done what you need to get done.
It cuts through.
Yeah.
It bangs and that's it. That's all. It does what it does. Like why mess up? Why fix something that isn't broken? Type of thing. But yeah, we get into these like, we're creatures of habits. We get into these like these things where we just want to go to the same thing. We feel comfortable. We have that comfort zone, and it goes for FL features and kits too. We talked a little bit about this yesterday too. Is like the new FL updates. How do you feel about it? And like, what is your favorite new feature? FL 21 and above so far.
Yeah. So I'm gonna run off a couple of them. Like the stem separation. Like whoever did that, they need a raise.
I want to know who thought of that.
Yeah, I'll drop them a follow if I find out who it is. You know what I mean?
Yep.
The stem separation is crazy just because being able to natively have that in your DAW is insane. Like usually when someone would want to do like a remix, or they would want to, I don't know, just do anything that has to do with stem separation, they would have to go to a website, they'd have to open an app, they'd have to do something, and then take it, download it, extract it, drop it in, and do this whole thing. So being able to click 3 buttons, and then that click of 3 buttons eliminates a whole 10-minute process is crazy. Because I'm not gonna say any names, but some of these companies that do the stem separation stuff, it'll take like 10 minutes sometimes to like extract like a whole song.
So then what are you doing in that 10 minutes?
Push-ups, running, getting to drink, go to bath, anything.
Losing your train of like thought.
Anything but making a beat.
Exactly.
So being able to do that like in like under a minute with like it already natively being inside the DAW is just such a game changer. I would say another feature that I've been liking a lot is the new effect VSTs that they've been dropping in. Like I've been messing with Hyperchorus a lot.
Hyperchorus.
That's like one of my go-to like choruses.
I got to use that more.
Yeah.
Are you like you're just like kind of load it up and leave it, or are you going into the presets, or are you going into tweaking anything, or what are you doing with that?
Mostly that's why I like it, because mostly I'm just dropping it on and I'm just messing with the mix knob.
Bro, you know what's crazy about that?
What's up?
I feel the same way about like whenever I would throw any chorus plugin. So just like Fruity Chorus.
Yeah.
I feel like I have that same answer, and normally I have a co-host, John. I don't know if you know, like you said you see.
I've seen the show, bro. Come on. Try to make me seem like I'm a fake fan, brother. Come on.
Yeah, but we're missing John at the podcast, the Namm. But
I wanted to meet John, bro.
yeah.
I needed to get his signature. Come on.
But yo, so where was I going with that? So the Fruity Chorus thing. So he had the same answer when he drops chorus on anything. I have that same answer. I wonder why. I feel like chorus just instantly, as a default preset, does what it does, mix knob. Yeah. And that's it. Yeah. It's like set it and forget it kind of thing. It just does what it does. Yeah, but Hyperchorus has a different texture to it.
Yeah, but you know what? I think that's like very valid for why we use a lot of VSTs. Like the less that we have to tweak, like the more we're gonna use the thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And especially like too, like I've been getting into sound design, and when you do sound design, you quickly find out like how saucy chorus is.
Yeah.
So like after I found that out, I'm just like, I'm throwing chorus on everything.
Yeah, if you want like a little bit of stereo width on something, you want to, saucy in the headphones.
Yeah, yeah.
Hear that little bit of pinging back and forth left and right.
Absolutely, bro. Come on.
You get that. So yeah, you like Hyperchorus, you like the stem separation.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of new features that just dropped in 21. I think, stem separation is definitely one of my favorites. And like you said, I think the biggest takeaway from that, and why I think that is one of the most important ones that dropped, like you said too, is you don't have to go to a third party. Like, no shade to the third party, because they had the right idea. Like, it's a necessity. People, it's something that people have been asking for and they've wanted for a long time. So there's companies that have been wanting to make that happen and make that easier for producers. But it's just like, FL is just like that next step ahead already. They've been thinking about that for a while. So they've definitely been working on that. And they're coming with that same mentality of like how Instagram and TikTok and all these apps work, is like they want to keep you within the app as much as possible to make you happier, to make them happier, to keep that creative juice flowing and not lose that vibe.
Absolutely.
Because like you said, you lose the vibe. You're in the middle of a beat. You've been spending 15, 20, 30, 40 minutes on a beat. You're in that zone. Now I want to go to this sample. I want to like separate these stems. I want the drums. I want to make a percussion loop out of this. Let me throw that in. And then before you know it, it's just done.
You lose the vibe.
Yeah.
You almost ruin a record like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But but I want to piggyback on that really quick, is that they did it, and they did all that stuff, which is a great idea, but they did it right too.
Yeah, they did
That's
it right.
the thing.
Yeah.
It's like, because you can have all these cool ideas, you can have all these things that are good in theory, but like actually executing it correctly and actually making it a quality product, completely different. You know what I mean? So like being able to use it and then like, cause like I'm not saying this for the pod, like I actually use the stem separation stuff.
Me too.
It's actually really good.
It is.
You feel me?
It's just as good as anything out there that's been doing it and been been trying to perfect it on third-party platforms, and it's in the DAW.
Yeah.
And it's not even a part of the biggest thing too. Like some people might think it's a part of the cloud, like you have to pay extra for it. It's not.
Yeah.
It's just in the new update. It's just there.
For sure. And like I said this yesterday, but I was taking like mad brand deals for like stem separations and stuff like that for companies that I do genuinely like. But like after the update dropped and the stem separation was in FL Studio, I was all like, well, I don't need to take those brand deals anymore because like I'm just using this. Like why go to another one when it's like literally already there for you?
Yep.
So.
Same here, bro. Yeah, I've done my fair share of those too, and I probably won't anymore either, just because of that.
Yeah, like I don't see a reason why.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So like they've hit me up and I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah, I can't.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean that's like an integrity thing too. It's like everybody knows if like people are following you for FL stuff, why are we trying to sell them something that FL does already? Within the DAW. I wanted to go through like a list of some of the placements you got, because you got some like big ones out there, bro. You got some good placements. You got some plaques.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, talk a little bit about that. Like, what's like, what's one song that got out there that really just like changed everything for you?
Changed everything. I think the first one that like made like a huge impact on like my life and my career and everything was the Tinashe record. Mm-hmm. So I did the melody for I Can See the Future that was on Tinashe's last album, and once that song dropped, everybody kind of looked at me differently. You know what I mean? Like when people would talk to me, I would catch a certain vibe, but then once that record dropped, like the vibe kind of changed.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And you can tell by how people talk to you, like where you kind of are in your career, because people get a little parasitic. You know what I mean? And it's just kind of like a nature of the culture of like producers. Like it's not the best thing, but it's something that happens. You feel me? So right when all of the conversations were like, hey man, you're dope, turned into, hey man, where can I send loops?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's crazy, because I make loops. I don't even really do drums like that.
Yeah.
You feel like I make sure I still have like hard hitting drums because I never want to lose that.
So is that your thing? Is that like you found like your little lane is like you're mostly sending out loops to other producers?
Yeah. So I would say like 90% of all the placements I have are all through loops.
Gotcha.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a necessity though. I feel like would you feel like in the industry, because we all know like the industry's changed so much, and when I started making beats, it was like, it was almost taboo to even think of like, oh, let me just like make the melody. Every producer around like that time, we're talking like 10, 15 years ago, was like, looking at the Timbalands and the Swiss Beats and the Kanyes as production, and they were thinking in their heads, they didn't really know what was happening behind the scenes. Is like Timbaland is just making the entire beat. Kanye's making the entire beat. So I feel like in order for me to get a placement, I can't share that with anybody, and I have to make the entire beat myself. Yeah. Things have changed so much.
Yeah. And honestly, I feel like it's a change for the better too.
Yeah.
You feel me? Because like, if we're because like personally, I really only try to like work with like people who are the homies, and if we're homies, like I want to eat together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if I have an opportunity, I love being able to share that with someone else.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like if I have an opportunity where I know I can like sell a beat, like I'm like, hey bro, send me some loops, or I'll send you a loop, do something to it so I can go sell it real quick, and then we can just share it.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? It's just kind of like if you have an opportunity to get put on, like you gotta put everybody else on too. It's just like good faith.
It's networking and collaboration. Music at any point in time. I go back to what I was saying, where people used to think it was a taboo thing to like collaborate with somebody on a beat, or to have multiple people making certain things on a beat. I think that's something that's always been around in music.
Yeah.
And if you look back when Kanye first came out, and Timbaland, if you look back, even Dr. Dre, there's 10 people sometimes on the credits, or maybe it might just be under that one person. But when you hear these stories come out, it's like this person made this melody, this person made the drum pattern, and Dre or Kanye is sitting back in there, and Timbo too, sitting back and producing in a sense of like putting things together, putting these pieces together, putting these people together.
Yeah.
And essentially that's happening now, and it's just more, I think, in the public eye than it used to be.
Yeah, and you know what? Even if you look at it in the back of the day, where people like let me backtrack. So you said like, okay, people were making like the whole beat. If you're being real right now, it's technically collabing too because they're sampling. Like 90% of those beats are samples.
Yep.
So like if you really want to break it down, it basically is a collab because you took a whole entire like piece of work. You feel me? Like a whole orchestrated piece of work. And then you're flipping that into a whole thing with drums. So it's like, is that really making the whole beat by yourself, or is that like technically collaboration as well?
Gotcha.
Because you needed that piece of work to make what you made. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, like the collaboration, it's just like it's a different way nowadays, bro.
Yep. It's a necessity. You need it.
And I love it too because I feel like it brings better music.
Yeah.
Because like, if you're focused on making the melody by yourself and the drums by yourself, you're only gonna be so good at both of those things. But if you tap in with one person who's dedicated all their time to making melodies, like there's no way you can be better than them. Like if I spend 100% of my time making melodies, I'm gonna be way better than someone who spends 50% of their time making melodies.
Yeah.
Things like that. So you get a person that's 100% into drums, you get a person that's 100% into melodies, you put them together and it just creates crazier music.
Facts, bro. Facts. So to stick on like the melody creation side of things and the loop creation, what are some go-to plugins that you go to, stock or even third party? Like,
Yeah.
what's your go-to right now?
My go-to FL Keys.
FL
I've been
Keys.
using FL Keys so much, bro.
Really?
It's funny that you say that because I actually just did a stock VST challenge the day before I came out here, and I made like the hardest West Coast beat with like only stock plugins. And like if you listen to it, you wouldn't have guessed that like any stock VSTs were used. You know what I mean? Just because like they've gotten so good that like the stigma behind like using a stock VST like ain't really there no more.
I'm right there with you, bro. I've been pushing that, especially like on the pod and just in content in general. There's a lot of producers that think that you have, in order to get placements, in order to stand out, you have to go out and buy or download a shit ton of like third-party plugins, and it's
like
not needed.
things.
Like FL especially, I don't know like about other DAWs, but FL especially, with the amount of stock plugins that they've accumulated over the past 20-something years, 25 years. I mean, you really don't need to go anywhere else if you can't. You don't have to. I mean, venture out. It's cool to try other plugins, obviously. Use other plugins, experiment, have fun, but it's not a necessity. It's not.
But okay, so I've been using FL Keys a lot, just because like when you like pitch it down to like D2, D1 sometimes, and you use that like dark deep piano, it just hits different. It has a really good tone. So when you're using it for like darker melodies or like darker beats, it's really good for that. I've also been using SAR a lot because they have a lot of good
Yeah,
bases.
you mentioned that yesterday.
Yeah, for, like, West Coast stuff.
You guys are making me try to get back into SAR because I haven't touched it in like 15 years.
Literally, the first bass preset that's in there is hard.
The first bass preset?
The
I gotta
very
go back
first
into
bass
it.
preset. I'm telling you.
Have they changed like the interface of it, or does it look the same? It's just like that brownish color, right?
Yeah.
It's the same. They probably haven't touched it.
Yeah.
Same presets and everything.
Oh, I don't know about presets because like when I first got into producing, I was for sure like I need all the craziest VSTs. I need all the craziest sounds. So like I wasn't really using them much like that. So I don't really know like the history behind it. But now that I'm more confident in my skill and confident in my sound, and I know that I don't have to get all these crazy sounds. I can just make things happen with everything that I have now. I've been going into the stock stuff more.
Gotcha. So FL Keys, SAR.
Yeah.
What's another one? One more.
Sakura has good plucks.
Yeah.
Good plucks.
Bro, I'm right there with you. If I want a good pluck, I'm going to that one.
Sakura is a good option for that. Citrus, I like Citrus's pads.
Citrus pads?
Yeah, Citrus pads.
Do you sound design in Citrus, or you like go into like preset, maybe tweak?
Bro, I never even thought about sound designing in Citrus until you said it in a video one time. And then after you said it in a video, I'm like, I want to make a Citrus bank. Just like make a Citrus bank and just drop it for the free.
Bro, you should.
Something like that, yeah.
Should.
It was just the timing. Because like I had to come out here, I've been busy and stuff like that.
Bro.
But that's like that's on the bucket list.
Citrus is one of those plugins that's been around, I think, since I started using FL. It looked completely different, but they've they've put even more time into it, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And they just dropped the video on Citrus.
Oh, yeah?
FL recently, yeah.
Okay.
They just dropped the video on some Citrus stuff, maybe some sound, like some sound design tweaks. So if you haven't checked that out, check that out. It's really interesting.
I know. I've been off the grid lately, so I haven't seen it, but that's definitely very interesting because, after, like you said, after you mentioned it, I wanted to get into it. Yeah.
I guess we can talk about like one more thing. I think I want to. Do you do any vocals in FL ever? Like, are you like? Is anybody sending you vocals to do in FL?
People try to send me vocals.
You're not doing it.
I don't like doing vocal stuff.
No.
I don't know. It was never really my thing. And with all due respect, a lot of engineering work kind of feels like customer service sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like you get put into a situation a lot of the time where it's like, hey, I creatively want to do this, but the artist wants this, so I can't really do it.
Yeah.
And that lack of freedom is something that's been kind of off-putting to me. But that's also looking from an outsider perspective, so I could be completely wrong
Yeah.
on that. But like, that kind of perception I've had of it is kind of like kept me away from it.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? But like, I respect it. I know how important engineers are, but I just think personally for me, it's not for me.
All right. I guess we can end it with one more thing, and it's kind of like we talked about the stock plugins, the stock VSTs. I always like to get a perspective of FL users.
Okay.
How about 3 stock mixing plugins that are go-to for you?
Okay.
Any 3 stock FL mixing plugins?
So I'm not gonna say Fruity Parametric EQ2.
I mean, you can.
We know that's the go.
That's the go. It's just a go-to. Yeah, it's kind of like.
That's a great one. Sometimes on the master, what I'll do is very last track, because like the order matters. Very last track, I'll do soft clipper.
Yep.
Leave it on the default settings, and then on the very first track, I'll put like Fruity Parametric EQ1, and I'll just boost the high end a little bit, or depending on the track and like how like crazy and over the top I want to go with the bass. Sometimes I'll take the low end, I'll boost that a little bit too. Some like really simple like that. Other stuff for mixing, I don't really do too much. The only thing I'm really doing is EQ, reverb, delay, chorus, sometimes flanger. I really like Fruity Flanges.
Yep.
We already talked about the hyper chorus.
How about any compression? You doing any bussing with your melodies? You doing anything like that, like bus
I don't really do
compression or
compression
anything?
like that.
No?
I literally just try to like level it the best that I can.
Gotcha.
And then just kind of move from there.
Yep.
I mean,
Because there's a lot of producers that think you have to like overly mix the stuff before you finish it, before you send it out. What do you think about that? What do you think about producers saying like, have you mixed your beats? Like, you know what? I'm spending a ton of time mixing and getting this mix right. Do you think that it's I think you mentioned this yesterday too. Do you think that if you get to a certain point and you find yourself tweaking too much, it's maybe time to move on to a different sample, different patch, different plugin?
Yeah, I definitely do that. But when it comes to like mixing and like over mixing and stuff like that, I'm kind of on the side for like mix a lot, like take a lot of time to like get it, because a good mix can make or break a whole record. It can make or break a whole beat. But
do you think it's more mixing or more sample selection when it comes to beat creation?
Okay, it is more sample selection, because if you have to do a million things to something, you need a new sample.
Yeah.
That's something that's not for you. You feel me?
And I like that too, because I just think there's so many samples out there that have already been processed. Like everybody's dropping kits. You drop kits all the time that you've processed those samples to the point where like you have in mind, like, I don't want anybody to have to do too much to this.
Yeah, and then sometimes like things have already been sampled like 3 times over. So it's like, because like sometimes when you're sound designing, you'll make a sound, then you'll reprocess it and you'll like reprocess it again.
Yeah.
So like sometimes like when you're creating a sound, you'll already do like some 3-4 times. So then you get it to someone and it's supposed to be perfect off the rip, but then you start doing all this like weird EQ stuff to make it like perfect to you.
I guess that's another thing. I mean, we could talk for days. One more thing, I think. So you're talking about like sample creation, right?
Yes.
When you're creating samples, what's your process like when you're creating, let's say, I don't know, like a drum kit? So picture like you're gonna make a kick. What's like a quick run through of your start to finish? Are you doing it in Edison? Are you where are you starting?
Okay, so for a kick, I'm usually starting in Serum. Are we talking about creating the kick? Yeah. So I'll start in Serum. I'll do the process of creating the kick from there, and then I'm dragging it out to the playlist, and I'm boosting it to how I like it. I'm literally just using the boost knob.
In the sampler?
Yes, and just cranking it up until it's hitting how I want it to. I'll run it through a soft
Are you
clipper.
choosing the clip? option under the boost knob?
No.
No?
No,
Just boosting it.
Just boosting, but I have the Fruity Soft Clipper on the master.
Got you.
Yeah, so I'll boost it up. I might use some EQ. I don't do anything too crazy for kicks because it's like I want them to hit. You know what I mean? Like with my kicks, I don't like getting too creative. I want them to be like effective and efficient.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But like something like a hi-hat or maybe like a clap or something like that, I will get a little bit more interested.
Gotcha.
I do more weird stuff to it.
Gotcha.
Make sure it hits.
That's awesome. I've done like a little bit of sound design stuff, like creating some sample packs. Like, it's not my thing, like per se, but I've done it. It's pretty fun too, like creating something from scratch like that. And I would, go, like you said, go to the playlist, tweak it, go into the sampler, tweak it there, re-record it into Edison, drag that into the sampler, because then I feel like I can tweak it even more within the sampler. Maybe add stereo delay, something like that. I mean, it's endless possibilities with FL. Even if you don't even have to, and you don't even have to touch like a real plugin to like get some really cool sound design after like a Serum or a
after
Citrus.
you're dropping the sound out.
After
Like when it
dropping
comes to saucing stuff up, you don't even really have to like get out VSD. Sometimes you can hit the out knob, you can hit the boost knob, you can hit there's like stock, like not stock, but like there's like built-in effects in the sampler already. Like when I'm doing like effects for drums, half the time I'm just using the little delay that's in the sampler.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Like if I do a stomp and I want that stomp to echo, hit the little the wrench knob.
Yep.
You feel me? Go to the lower right-hand corner.
And you can choose how many times it echoes out. Yep. That's a fire. That's a
Every
little gem right there too.
Every time I just go midnight, so it's like a 4/4 like delay, and then I just turn that mix knob up a little bit just so it delays out how I want it to. It's perfect every time.
That's dope, man.
It's so good for drums.
That's awesome. I feel like we could talk for days, but I feel like I appreciate you coming on, man.
Of course, man.
Thank you so much.
Of course, man.
Legend.
Mandatory.
If anybody doesn't know, they might be living under a rock, but like, where can they find you on socials?
prod.by.infinite, and it's 3 I's in the beginning.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of regret putting so many I's in my name because that's kind of crazy to spell. But yeah, prod.by.iiinfinite. See how I have to think about it? It shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, Prod by Infinite, or maybe just type in Infinite and I should come up.
Hell yeah, man. Again, thank you.
We're at the FL booth.
Absolutely. You see this big fruit behind us?
The big fruit. What is this, a strawberry, a mango?
Yeah,
A
something
pepper?
weird. I think somebody said it's like a Persephone, something crazy. It's like, I don't know.
I don't know what it is either, but yo, we're here. Thank you so
man.
much.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
For
bro.
anybody that doesn't, and maybe that's like living under a rock, you maybe, mention your name.
My name is L. Gene. I'm a co-host on the My Audio Nerds podcast. I'm also a producer and songwriter, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you for being here, man.
Of course, man. Thank you for having me, bro.
How's
Ever
your
since
name been?
It's been cool. It's been hectic today because I've been moving around, but it's an amazing problem to have because so much information, so many brands, and so many new people to meet. I'm just happy to be here.
Same here, man. I got in last night, and today's been pretty hectic already. That's why I didn't really do much last night. I was hoping Devon didn't hit me and was like, "Yo, like,
Yeah, we're outside.
yeah, we're outside. Come on." I would have felt the pressure to do it, but it's been awesome, hectic. When April came and met you guys in person for the first time, that was awesome.
Which is
Had a
amazing. You
great
got me
time.
my FL chain,
The
which
FL
I never
chain.
take off.
We're back.
Yeah, we're back with it.
we're
Yeah,
home.
we did it here.
Yeah, we did it all here, bro.
Wow. That's
So
amazing.
I guess we could start off with how long have you been using FL?
So I've been an FL user. I want to say going on 10 years.
10?
Actually, and I'm not that old, so I'm like,
No, you're young, bro.
yeah, I'm. So it sounds insane, but I picked it up when I was in grade school, like 5th grade. So I want to say 10 years now.
Gotcha.
Yeah, if not close to there.
What,
but I started with FL 11.
I was just about to say, like,
yeah.
what version you started on. So you started right with 11, where I feel like, especially like the consensus today is like, seems that's when things started to like shift between 11 and 20-ish, around that. So like, what do you think? Why do you think that is? Like, why do you think people say 11 is the go-to? 11 is where I stuck with the longest. I stayed on FL. I didn't really want to upgrade after 11. Why do you think that is?
I feel like 11, well, I can't speak to that because I wasn't a 10 guy. I went back and checked it out from time to time, but I wasn't an active user to see the growth from 9 and 10 to 11. However, I will say 11 and 12 it was the years where we were starting to get more access to the company. where I was seeing more YouTube reviews and more instructional videos on how to use FL. And I feel like those comments allowed FL to listen. I think the FL forum was around then too. So it's like they were able to directly hear from us and hear what we wanted. And unlike other DAWs, they actually listen.
They do.
So I started on 11, but my favorite of all time was 12.
12.
I don't know why. I think it was the modern look. I know everybody says the limiter from 11 is the best.
Yo, did FL 11 still have the legacy block option that you could go back to? Do you remember that?
I
Because
think
the legacy block was definitely before your time, I think.
yeah, absolutely.
But I think there was a version that it was off by default, but they still allowed you to turn it on if you wanted to just feel nostalgic, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I never used it if I did have access to it, but I know that was a thing. I just never like engaged in that.
Yeah, the legacy block was, man, another era, bro.
Yeah.
So some wild stuff. It was, if I ever went back to it, I remember thinking when the shift changed from the legacy block to the playlist clips as they are now, it was like the biggest shock to me for some reason. I was like, yo, I don't know, I can't hang with this. I don't know if I like it. I would always go back and change it to the legacy blocks. And then at one time, I think it might have been 12 where they finally said, you know what, they just removed it.
Now,
so it's like they slowly like kind of phased it out in a sense. If anybody that wanted to go back to it, they could go back to it.
Yeah, I feel you.
But yo,
Yeah.
totally different look. And then you know what else was crazy about it? The playlist was split.
Yeah.
So you could like drag the playlist down. It was split into two.
Yeah, I remember that accidentally happened to me, and I was just like, wait, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like, I was super confused because I was still learning it. But I'm not gonna lie, I feel like the playlist and like the that whole workflow is the reason why I love FL. It's the reason why I stuck to it, because it felt modular in a sense. It didn't feel like on Logic when I was recording. I would have to, if I wanted to, copy and paste everything I did, or it's like I could record all the way through and just keep it like that. But the playlist blocks was like, all right, let's put together this 8-bar loop, and then we could switch around, and it just felt modular and easier for me to learn. And I think that's what made me fall in love with FL Studio at the time.
Man. It's just such a user-friendly DAW. Like I've been talking about it all day too. Like what somebody asked me why I got started on FL. It's for that same reason. When I started back on FL3,
Oh man,
bro, I'll show my age real quick. FL3.
yeah.
But I mean, it was the same DAW pretty much that it is now. I mean, a lot has changed. Don't get me wrong. Like a lot of updates and upgrades since then.
For free, by the way.
Yeah, free update for life. Free updates for life.
Yeah.
No other DAW's doing that.
Absolutely. It's like, and it's almost painful when we're on the podcast. Like, yo, the new Ableton Live came out. It's like, oh, get it. It's like, well, it's like $500. it's hilarious. But yeah, man, I feel like the fact that we're guaranteed that means so much. And it's a brand that knows that, and it sounds like an FL ad. It's really not. But it's a brand that knows that we're in it for the long run, and they know that they're going to keep innovating to the point where we're not going to even feel like leaving anywhere else.
Gotcha.
So I love it, man. Shout out FL. Okay.
Shout out FL. I was thinking about this earlier. I forgot you touched on something that made me think of this also. The fact that they listen, right?
Yes.
The fact that they listen. Do you think that has something to do with the fact that they are a smaller group?
Absolutely. I think that's the 100% reason. You could also blame it on like other companies have shareholders to speak to. Other companies like shortcuts, or other companies just don't have the access. But I feel like aside from our talented team, they listen to us because, I mean, there's not many hurdles I think they would have to go through to get a suggestion out there. Yeah. I mean, certain companies, I'm sure there's like a low-level employee that would love to recommend something insane to FL Studio, well, not FL Studio, to their DAW, but not be able to. And that's in any business. The smaller the team, the easier access to the boss is.
I agree, bro.
Yeah.
I agree. And it's less of a chain of command or a lack of a chain of command, which is sometimes a really good thing, because you don't have to wait around to get real answers and to get real results.
Absolutely.
You know? So when something happens, and Josh, which is off camera right now, which he explained earlier, it's like to Bolo was here earlier, and he was like, yo, this is one feature that I wish FL had.
Oh yeah,
he's right here. He's like, bro, he's like, can you email that to me? Yeah. And I will present it and we'll try to make it happen.
And that's how we get things done. And I feel like other things too, like once again, shareholders and just the chain of command, I feel like they tend to prioritize things that will get them a news cycle and will get people talking, but isn't really insane. Now, this is gonna sound like a shot, but when the Melodyne thing came out, it was like, that's cool, but do you have a working step sequence? Like little things like that won't get people talking, but Melodyne being built in, even though I can literally get the VST and do what I need to do, it's like
With new tone, you're talking.
yeah,
Like having new tone
exactly.
built in.
So say that one more time.
Were you saying like Melodyne and having new versus having new tone like built in? Is that what
Yeah,
you're
no,
talking
not
about?
even. It's like companies prioritizing things like the Melodyne integration in Pro Tools.
Oh, got you.
When
got you,
everybody
got you.
was talking about it, I was
Yeah.
like, all right, that's cool to talk about.
Got you.
But there's a lot missing. Why are we hype about this?
Yeah.
And I'm not a Pro Tools user. I just like using them as examples. But I feel like with such a large team and things like that, they tend to prioritize what they think will make their customers happy in a sense, but also not pockets, but the shareholders and there are people they have to answer to that don't make music.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing. I feel like smaller companies like a FL Studio are a bunch of music makers that actually use FL and like, you know what? Why do I have to go to Lala AI every time I want a stem split?
Right.
Let's just put it right here. You know what I mean?
Let's make it easier for producers to the point where they don't have to leave the door and get sidetracked when they're in the zone.
Yeah,
and
with
now
Splice
if
or
I
with,
want to
like,
so
Lander, like
exactly, bro. Like if you're like 45 minutes into a song or creating a beat, and you know I bring in the sample and I want to separate the stems. What happens when you start to leave the DAW and you go into a web browser, and then before you know it, you're on YouTube, and then before you know it, you lost that juice that you had when you were in that creation mode.
like I'm in the
Now
zone,
you stay in that zone, and you don't have to leave the DAW, and it's not even like that is a feature that's extra money either. That's just an added feature.
Exactly. And we don't pay for it.
No.
Like stuff like that. Now here's a $5 a month add-on to get stem separation built in. It's like, what are we doing?
Ridiculous.
What are we doing? But hey, man, it's elevation, it's growth, and the listening. And I feel like other companies one day will catch on. I feel like there are companies that do, and maybe I don't pay attention to Reaper, but maybe Reaper's like constantly doing what we're doing as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe there's somebody that's really paying attention, which I think they should.
Yes.
I think that DAWs are really starting to pay attention to FL's business model and being like, yo, they're doing something that we're not doing, and I think we need to start doing that. So we need to figure out what it is that they are doing, and we need to start implementing that into our business like strategies.
And sometimes the lack of a feature. No, I feel like 80% of the time, the lack of a feature is what drives somebody away from a DAW or maybe a workflow change or something like that. So it's like, hey, man, thank you for listening. And that's to all companies, all VST companies, DAW companies, hardware companies that listen to us, because it makes our creation easier, and we're just going to keep coming back because every investment we make is into our careers, and you guys are, like, powering our careers.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the reason we got into FL is for the simplicity of it and how easy it is to go from the brain to the DAW.
Remember
to the speakers.
Remember the shift in the pandemic world where I felt like everyone left Zoom to go to Google Meet?
Yeah.
And there was a convenience factor. There was a hurdle where it's like, all right, now I don't have to download the app. Now my audio converters are good because Zoom always had an audio issue no matter what.
Always.
And that's what I feel like it is with FL. It's like, all right, now if you're bringing everything to me and just making it easier for me, it's just like, why would I want to go anywhere else? Whereas I hear somebody complain about Ableton or complain about I keep name dropping, but I keep hearing somebody complain about other DAWs, and hey, you know you can do this here. And it's not even a jab. It's just like we're creating, and the easiest way or the easiest path from my brain to my computer is going to always get me the best result.
Tracks.
Yeah.
What I guess we can move into some stock stuff.
Yes, sir.
You know, that's like a hobby of mine is just talking about stock plugins. I could talk about them for days. There's so many,
and it's like the best in the business.
I mean, there's so many new ones. We just said off camera. I interviewed the dude who made the patch, which that opens up a lot of questions for me because now I know something that I never really knew is that they outsource for a lot of different stuff. And I never really knew 100%. I thought maybe everything was in-house,
yeah.
but they outsource even for packs inside of a plugin like
Absolutely.
Flex.
Yeah.
So either before or after this, I don't know if I'm integrated, but I had an interview with the dude that made Chill Lo-Fi
Absolutely,
from
that would be
Flex.
insane.
All right, so guess what time it is? It's keyword time. Today's keyword for the FL Studio giveaway is Doug Funny. So comment Doug Funny down in the comment section, and you'll be entered into the FL Studio Producer Edition giveaway. All right, just remember, every week we're doing the FL Studio giveaway, so come back, stay tuned, and yeah, let's get right back into the podcast.
So
And AFL, you got 2 really dope sample creators. Just saying.
go.
I'm just saying.
So I mean, to stick on the stock plugin, like, what's a go-to? I'll do this. Your go-to stock VST instrument, and then your go-to mixing plugin.
All right.
Stop.
This changes a lot. So earlier today, I remember I said morphine, but I was reminded.
What do you use morphine for when you go to it? Are you going to
Oh
it
my
for
gosh.
something specific?
Honestly, I just search around, but it's my favorite of the bunch when it comes to quality sounds. Like, I just know I'm gonna always find something in morphine. But for sour, oh my goodness, I go there for, it's a lead. I think it's in synth, not even lead. I go to synth. It's all the way at the bottom. It's called clarinet, and then I use it as a bass, and I just turn it to mono. I just gave away a sauce. I've been doing this since the 5th grade, bro.
Yo.
Literally ever since
I
when
gotta
I
get
couldn't
back into
afford.
Sora. Like you,
Bro.
my boy John, somebody earlier, Infinite
Yeah.
mentioned Sora. Bro, I feel like I'm slacking on Sora
Yeah,
now.
it feels like a Moog almost. I'm not gonna lie. It really is. Like, I love Solar, but that's my go-to for that. And for mix, all right, for my mix, there's a lot. It's easy to say gross beat. I would say lately, truthfully, it's been hyperchorus.
Hyperchorus.
Just because it's new and it's always there, I'm just like,
I
Fuck it, let's try
need
it.
to utilize that more.
Yeah,
what do you
no.
find yourself using it on the most?
I go straight to basic doubler or basic wide, something like that.
Like on what? On what though?
Oh, I put it on anything. I'm not
Vocal?
gonna lie. I'm a guy that likes a lot of things wide. Whether it's the vocal, whether it's I like really wide basses. I'm not a believer in the bass has to be down the middle. The kick has to be down the middle, and
So
everything.
you'll
surrounds it.
you'll stereo widen a bass.
Oh my goodness, bro! The things you can do.
Will you
with a
go to
slap
just like the
bass.
top end of a bass and like widen the top end? Or you like
Yeah. Sometimes I'll throw it on, just throw it
The
on
whole
there,
thing.
bro. Cause bro, like a slap bass, yeah, my fault. But sometimes like a
all right.
slap bass, try it on a slap bass and just hear how it just doubles. It's either that or, and that's my favorite alternative to Avox Doubler, because I love that plugin so much. However, it's only mono, so it only takes in mono sources, and it's just not the best. So yeah, hyperchorus, vintage chorus, great second, but hyperchorus.
vintage chorus is new too.
Yeah, it's new too. I'm not gonna lie, I've been messing with the new plugins a lot.
Have you messed with LuxVerb at all?
LuxVerb? Yeah, it's kind of a learning curve. However,
It is. No, it really is.
yeah.
It is.
It's like I thought it was just gonna be a deluxe reverb. No, it's not.
No, it's complicated. It's a little
lot.
complex.
But
The
I'm
ducking feature though,
bro, I haven't touched it yet.
it
haven't touched
takes
it.
out the need for a sidechain.
Yeah,
Like if you want to sidechain your reverb, you could do it all within the same plugin.
I love it. That sounds amazing. Now you got me thinking like, wow. Because I'm thinking of my workflow and how many times I just duck my I sidechain everything. But
Yeah. So when you
Wow,
do reverbs or delays in FL, are you a send guy or are you a directly on the instrument guy?
I used to be a directly on the instrument guy. I'm not gonna lie, but I've been recording a lot more vocals into FL, and sends have been my wave, man. Because it's just from a efficiency standpoint, it's just way better on my computer, and it just makes more sense to me.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm a send guy now too.
Yeah. Well, it depends what it is. On my reverbs, well, sometimes on my reverbs I might slap it. Like if it's an ad lib, like yeah, I'll just mess around with it. Maybe just get a super short reverb and then bust it out to a longer one. Or doubler, I'll throw it on directly on. But them delays, I just like keeping them separate. So yeah.
That's fire, bro.
What's your favorite delay?
My favorite delay is delay 3.
I feel you.
Hands down now.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a delay 3 guy, and I said it last time we spoke that delay 3 was my favorite. but I revisited that delay bank.
Oh.
And it's all right, man.
All right.
It's nostalgic. I love it. But delay 3, it just feels cleaner for some reason.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you could do a lot more.
absolutely.
You know, I talked about it earlier too. Is like the fact that you can make it. You have all these distortion effects. You have the wobble effects that you can do in the background. The stereo capabilities, panning and ping pong, and I mean, it's just like it feels like. Why go and grab a third-party plugin when you got delay 3? If you're looking for anything like that, you can. I mean, if you're looking for something simple, straightforward, let's get a delay on there and not have to worry about it. You know, you don't want anything special. Delay bank or 2.
Yeah.
So wait, when I'm looking, right, is delay 1 delay bank?
I think delay 1. Oh, it might be.
Where's Fruity delay 1?
It
I
might
think
be
it's just
actually.
Fruity delay bank.
Because there's a
then
2,
delay
right?
2.
I never touched it 2. I'm
No?
not gonna lie.
I mean, that's all I had when I was doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, when I
delay 3 is fairly new.
Yeah, when I started, delay bank was just there, and I just always went there. But delay 3, I like it a lot. Yeah, I think it might be delay 1 is delay bank.
Yeah, that's what I
I
think
want to know
too.
where's Fruity Reverb 1. Like I've never seen Fruity.
It's in there.
Reverb 1.
It's in there
I've
somewhere.
always
bro.
seen 2, but I've never seen the first one.
I gotta go digging.
Yeah.
Maybe they took it out.
Possibly.
I don't know.
One of these days, I'm gonna just get a really old Mac, or really old Windows, sorry, and just FL5. Let's see what's
FL5
poppin'.
and see where FL Reverb 1 is in.
Yeah.
How about when you're doing vocals? You do vocals in FL?
Yes, absolutely.
So, are you tracking in FL?
Yes.
So when you're tracking, are you using any of those like new tracking features that they have now, where you can lock things in the playlist versus the mixer?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. No, I do clip gain a lot. And I'll mess around with that. I mess around with the fade in and out. However, the clip fades are amazing, by the way.
Yep.
But I don't track normally. I really track nasty. It's such a sloppy session when you see me track because I track so quick that if I do a bad take, I hear it while I'm tracking. I'm not gonna even play it back. I'm just gonna recut. And I like to stack a lot, so literally I know that recording in FL is so much better now than it used to be.
Yeah, for sure.
But I literally record a bunch, and it'll just end up on track 2, track 3, track 4, track 5, and I'll just line everything afterwards. A nasty thing I do in my backgrounds that I never talk about is I will always do it by ear, and I always just I do maybe 4 stacks per note. So it's a lot, but I like to get it done quick. So I'll say, I won't even listen back. And then I'll do it all on the same track, even though there's auto-tune on it. So they'll all be on track 8. Once I'm done with
Auto-tune's going crazy in the background.
yeah, it just sounds terrible.
Yep.
Once I'm done with all of the reverb, once I'm done with all of the ahs, I'll go back to each one and switch it to 9, 10, 11, 12. But it sounds so bad until I do all of that. Yeah. And it's kind of inefficient for me because what if one of them is just off key? Then I have to go back and re-record it. But
Yeah.
anyway,
So you do obviously a lot of singing stuff in there. Are you utilizing New Tone and Pitcher, or are you going maybe third party for some of that stuff?
I'm not. Bro,
Pitcher
New
does
Tone
it.
got it. I'm not going to lie. I really like auto-tune artists. I was a Pitcher guy, but auto-tune artists, for my voice, is just, I don't know what it does. It just feels smoother, but I hate Melodyne. I'm not going to lie. I know it sounds amazing, but I hate the workflow of it. Maybe because
I tried it like one time,
bro,
and I was like, yo,
it was a headache.
Why? I think I was in in another DAW. Can't remember. I was in another studio session, and I'm like, bro, like New Tone just has it, and the workflow is just the same as everything else.
Yeah, I will say New Tone could use some work, and I think we're due for an update on New Tone.
I agree. It hasn't been touched in a while. It's one of those things.
I'm a big advocate for update some of these plugins. It's been a while. I would love a update on not Flex because Flex really is new, but I would love
I would love a new pack on Flex.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I think it's been a bit.
It's been a while, right?
I think it's been a bit.
Dang.
Show Lo-Fi might have been one of the last new ones.
I feel like with the cloud we're gonna get a bunch though.
I think so too.
Yeah, the cloud. They
think-
have so much potential with the cloud. to
Bro,
just kill.
I think we're just like scratching the surface with the cloud.
I have a question. I know Pro Tools, they have that they have the partnership with AIR for their plugins. What third party would you love to be integrated into FL to be like Just stock plugins.
A plugin company
Yeah,
to be integrated?
yeah. Like if this plugin company
Oh.
came with all their plugins came with FL, what would it be though?
That's a tough one, bro.
I kind of have one, man.
I think I have one that's off the top of my head, and it's only, but damn, I was gonna say Serato
Serato would be crazy.
because
Dang.
for the sampler. Imagine if we got like a hybrid Serato sampler
With the
mixed with
fr- yeah,
the
Slice
with,
X.
with the slicer or Slice X, bro. We got like a hybrid
Insane.
sampler.
I feel like once they bring stemming into Slice X, I feel like because I don't use Serato sample that much. I'm not gonna lie. I started using it a lot when 2.0 came out.
Yep.
And then I opened up Fruity Slicer again, and I was just like, "Hey,
Same
man.
here, bro. But I feel like imagine
back
if
on
that
it.
was integrated because
Yes.
of like the tone that it gives.
Yeah,
Not the tone that it gives, but like the stretching capabilities, the programming that you can do within it,
Yeah.
and the transpose options that you
Yes.
have.
Oh
I mean,
my
it just like it just
The
it just
reverse,
clicks.
yeah.
But I will say, I'm in the same boat as you, and I think I go to Slicer and Slice X.
Yeah.
Just because it's there and it's stock
Easy.
and it's just I get right
easy
to
on
it.
my computer, like
Yeah.
all that. I feel like once again, if they update Slice X, go crazy. I think they need to update hardcore, not hardcore. There was another guitar.
Destructor.
There's another guitar, Destructor.
Guitar
No, it might
pedal.
be hardcore actually.
A guitar pedal.
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
Thing?
It might be hardcore. might be
Hardcore
true.
is one, and Destructor is like the new one. That's
Yeah.
It's like a guitar pedal
I feel you.
plugin.
Yeah, I can see. What update would you like to see from one of our plugins?
I'd like to see. I talked about it earlier. I'd like to see. I'd like to see some updates into the. I like. You know what? All right. I know what I want.
What's up?
I want a parametric EQ 3.
Woo! Can I tell you something?
I want a 3.
If we get one that rivals Pro Q,
That's
it is
what I'm saying.
Over.
Side chaining.
Oh my goodness! I wish instead of AI mastering, I wish they gave us a mastering plugin. Oh my goodness!
An
bro.
actual plugin instead of the automatic mastering.
Man, who is the guy making all the patchers?
Frank Pohl.
Did they hire him?
No.
Why
No, he just
haven't
does
they-
it. I think he just either does live streams or he does YouTube.
Yeah.
I actually am going to have him on the podcast.
Bro,
and
please.
it's going to be wild. He lives in a different country. He wasn't going to make it to Namm. I already had a conversation with him. So thank you, everybody, that when we were on, I was on your podcast, and we were like, it couldn't
shouted
it
him
couldn't
out,
come to
yeah.
the top of my head what his name was. Everybody in the comments.
Frank Pohl.
Frank Pohl.
I got Smooth, bro. Instead of Soothe, I got Smooth. I promise, I do not own Soothe. I got Smooth though. Frank Pohl needs to be hired. I'm not gonna
Bro.
lie. What more do you have to prove, bro?
Bro, because
he can make us a good stock plugin.
have
man.
you like been able to dive into the mixing side of patcher stuff?
No.
Because it seems like they have outsourced for that as well with a Wise Labs. Have you ever heard of the Wise Labs stuff that's in there?
I haven't.
So like a company called Wise Labs has made a ton of patcher presets.
Is it with a Z?
Specifically, nope,
Oh, then I'm.
nope. Specifically just in the patcher mixing side of things.
Got you.
And they outsource for that, and they're creating a lot of one knob stuff.
Oh.
So one knob compressor, one knob limiter.
Yeah.
And a lot of that stuff is just awesome.
Yeah.
And they definitely should hire Frank Pohl if he's down for it. I think he would make some ridiculous stuff.
Oh. Can I tell you? And I'm very critical on FL because how much I love it. I would love to see from FL. It just literally skipped my mind in real time. I would love to see from FL. Oh, can I tell you what I want to talk about? Here it is. FL needs to start stealing people. Here's why. FL has been stolen from for so long, and I know people love to hate on FL, or we're not the best DAW, whatever. Think what you want to think. The fact of the matter is there hasn't been any company, DAW company specifically, stolen from more than maybe MPC and FL. MPC, their grooves get taken, their workflow. We have FPC. I can't even hate. But I've heard...
Do you use FPC?
Nah, I don't use it as much. But I've heard gross beat gets taken every 3 months. I feel like there's a new fake gross beat.
I feel like a lot of those plugins were like roughly based around gross beat.
Bro, I haven't. I'm not saying anything. I heard something about a company making their version of the clipper, the soft clipper.
Oh,
Oh my god! Like, I think it's time we start stealing back, bro.
I know, bro.
Because that's insane. The fact that
What do you
and-
think? What do you think? So you have
Yeah.
something in mind that they should steal from somebody,
Do I have something in mind?
or just in general they should just start?
In
like,
general, no. I'm just not really stealing like directly, but let's start looking around at other ideas that are working for everyone else. Because I feel like we're so innovative and we're not worried about what everybody else is doing. FL Studio is getting taken from, and I feel like it's our time to step up. Because now, once we start doing that, if we look at what Logic's doing, like, all right, let's do this. Let's get our own. Have you ever tried Alchemy?
No.
Bro, it's a Logic stock plugin. I'm an FL guy. I think it's the best stock plugin ever made.
What is it?
It was, it's like a serum.
Okay.
But it was from a third-party company that got
So a
bought
lot
by
of sound
Apple.
design stuff.
Yes, but it makes it so easy. It's
Really?
not even funny. I literally would buy it if it was still third-party, but Apple just bought the company and made it stock and cut the world off from it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's time because I feel like it's easy to hate FL, it's easy to whatever, but the fact of the matter is we make dope stuff that people want.
Yep.
I've heard so much about that Clipper. It was only a matter of time before it happens. Who knows? We might hear something about a fake Harmer going out somewhere or a fake Flex.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, hey.
Harmer's up there for sound design.
Harmer's
bro.
fire. Harmer is super fire. It has some of the best presets, too, for a stock
It
plugin.
really does. And the fact that like you can really go in depth with tweaking that, so you could essentially use it as a cheat sheet. I'm no sound designer, so what I like to do is I'm a preset guy.
Yeah.
But I'm a preset. I'm a preset and tweak guy.
Yeah.
So I'll go presets and then I'll tweak it on the back end. And Harmer just has like a next level tweakabilities.
Yeah, I feel you. And Harmer, it's a lot. It feels like a lot when you open it, but it's not bad once you really like just take it a section at a time. So shout out, once again, that's amazing. We could sit here and praise them all day because they've really made some dope stuff. I have a quick question for you.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's time we not really move forward, but let's keep moving forward because that's all we've been doing with FL. What do you want to see from them overall?
Overall.
Because I feel like we've gotten everything we wanted to see so far.
Bro, there's so much. I don't know. Like, what more can they do? We're seeing it. We're seeing everything with the cloud and mastering and stem separation. I'm like at a point now where I'm like, how can it get better?
It can. I'm not gonna lie. Other dogs play dirty, bro.
Vocal tracking kind of stuff.
Vocal tracking, cool. Yeah, that's something everyone's been.
I think I'd like to see that because even still with all the updates that they've made, so that'll be my thing.
Yeah,
I think.
I like that.
I think a more vocal friendly side of things.
I like that.
Would be huge, even
that
though
would make
they've
people
made
shut
a
up.
great stride.
Uh-huh.
But the thing is that FL being what it is,
Yeah.
is never going to be like a Pro Tools or a Logic in the sense of tracking, just because of the way it's already been set up from the get-go.
Yeah, but it can. It can. Let's think outside the box. What if there was a playlist mode, like a recording mode, where it switches the entire interface, the same way they switched the block.
Yeah.
The block, like you
that
said. Yeah.
that right there would make a
Record
huge,
mode?
Yeah. Record
Oh.
mode versus like beat mode.
Where
And
it just looks
and
like
it's
Logic
seamless,
with
but
the
it's
recording.
seamless though.
Yeah.
So like
So you
within
can
the
switch
same
back and
session, you
forth.
can switch back and forth, and it
The same
doesn't
way
mess anything up.
The same way you said the legacy mode. Let's get a record
Bro,
mode. FL. Oh my gosh.
that's fire, bro.
We got it.
You said it here first.
Yeah.
If that happens, you
If
need
that
credit.
happens, man, hit us. I think the two things I want from FL: one, more hardware options. I have the Flex. I have all the FL keys, and I love them so much that I wish there was more.
Yeah.
I wish I never had to get a Novation piece again unless it was FL.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then the second thing I would want from FL, honestly, they're doing it, bro.
They're doing it.
I can't think of. I can't, man. I want more hardware options. I would love like a standalone mix deck from them instead of it being connected to the FL key. Well, other than that, I love it. We got lifetime free updates. I can't even hate.
You can't really. Yeah, you can't hate. You can't ask for much more. But I think.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I need partnerships. Every DAW is partnering with other people, bro. The auto-tune integration, the Melodyne integration. I think we have the chance to do something because nobody's doing it on the production side.
They're
Khan,
doing it on the vocal side.
everybody's doing it on vocal side. Khan, hit your homies at Native Instruments. If I open up Noah's 40 keys and it's just something different for FL, I would love that, man. Because I feel like at this point it's just like let's make it more community now.
Yeah.
And I think that's where something like Avid has us beat, because they're so massive that they can literally, them combining or them adding Melodyne to them is helping Melodyne.
Yeah.
More than it has is helping them. So
100%.
I think those
I
are
would
the
love
only
to
two
see
things
that.
I would love.
I would
Yeah.
love to see that too.
That'd be insane.
That'd be insane, bro.
But record mode, bro.
Record mode, I think, is the biggest takeaway from this
I ain't gonna
episode.
lie. Record
Like,
mode
we need a
would stop
record
everything.
mode.
The same way we say, yo, we should steal whatever. Let's be honest. Pro Tools is the industry standard for recording.
Mm-hmm.
If we had a Pro Tools type interface, where it's still different, where every track could be a send, all things like that, but a record mode in FL Studio changes the game.
Yeah.
Because now there's nothing anybody can say about us.
Right.
It's always been, yo, you can't record in FL, you can't mix in FL. Now you can.
Now you can, and you could feel like it feels anywhere else.
Wow. I think we just did something
I think
crazy.
we have to just end it after that, bro.
Yeah, man.
I think
oh my
that's
gosh.
a done deal.
Thank you so much for having me, bro.
Bro, thank you for being here.
Come on.
And for making the time, because I know you have a busy ass schedule, and I know it's
Bro.
like really tough at these events to
We was
get
gonna
around.
make this one happen, bro. Real talk. When
I
you came to
appreciate
my
that.
pod, you was the first FL person on my pod. So I'm really,
I
really
had a
happy.
lot of fun, man. A
Yeah,
lot of
no, it
people
was
still
amazing.
hit me up and talk about that episode. And
And I'm happy you went through with the idea to start your own, bro.
bro, you
'cause
guys
this
inspired
is needed
me.
for us, bro.
You guys inspired me a ton.
Thank you
It's
so
been
much,
something
bro.
that's been like in my head for a long time. I need to switch the style of content up. I need
Yeah.
to do something. And a podcast has always been in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, it just really something clicked, and I was like, yo, I have to do it now. I have to take the steps to make it happen. And I just want to thank you and the guys for
Of
giving
course,
me that
man.
inspiration.
I ain't gonna lie, you got us on our 10 toes. Now we're trying to find what we're gonna do, our new giveaway. Because the FL every week is crazy. I wish
Right.
I had that. Like, I can just comment and hopefully get.
Right.
But yeah, yo, if you got a pirated version out there, man, here's your chance. Here's your chance to come to the good side,
Facts.
man. Nah, man, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
bro.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
All right.